boys in the class that don't know what I'm talking about because that's hurting them.
But that's private. You could do it privately.
Right.
They're gonna know sooner or later. They're gonna know that.
Right. So okay,
You'd
I
be
guess
surprised. Some
that's
kids-
great.
Really,
There's
some
no
kids are
internet in the
clueless.
home. There's
Some
some
kids are
homes,
clueless.
there's not
There's
one internet in the home.
Right. And
You
you
know
have to
what?
not be proud.
There's no internet in your home,
Huh?
but your next door neighbor has,
Right. But
and you have to
I'm
optimize these.
just saying is that
That's what you don't
when we talk
realize.
about
Why I'm saying
There's
it
no
because
device in the home.
I've seen
You don't know
the most
about that.
greatest,
How do
beautiful
you know? I'm not
kids.
arguing with you.
sons
You
of
go to CVS
Rabbonim
for $12
and
you get a device.
whoever you said.
Okay.
And I saw
$12,
one of my
right over
friends'
here.
son died of overdose about a few months ago. And he was a beautiful, sweet kid. So there is no knowledge. I mean, everybody knows about it. Just everybody doesn't want to face it as parents, as community. So if we're talking about it, if we're here now, so we need to make a change.
But
In the whole
it's-
system.
It's called, we said before, the communication between mothers. You know, the kids saying, everyone in the class has. It's not true. If that's true, call up the other mothers. What's going on? Call up the principal. Don't
You
be
can
afraid.
control
He's
it.
not a bad guy.
You can control it. You can give something in order to take the whole thing, to
You're-
be in control of the whole thing. You give a lollipop in order to control him to be to eat whole.
But you could give him your device for 5 minutes if it's filtered.
Okay, so talk about it.
Right.
That's
You
what I'm
could-
saying.
Right,
Put it on the table.
right.
Yeah, but I want to also talk to Mr. Gal, thank you for bringing it up. There is Shemiras Habris, which is a very important conversation, especially in this age group, but that's something certainly that I won't do in public. But I do want to say like this, there's the Chavetz Chaim wrote, I'm saying the Chavetz Chaim already speaking about the Chavetz Chaim, and I'm saying it's, I actually have, I'll go back a step. The Chavetz Chaim writes that every single father has a chiyuv to speak to his children about this idea. Just to educate their children as they change, as they mature. It's really an obligation on it's a father's obligation to speak to his child about it. That's true. It's a difficult conversation. So I'm saying I remember I spoke to, I'll say who, it's Rabbi Mishkech in the Mir Yeshiva, Rabbi Erlinger Senior, Rabbi Erlinger's father, and I spoke to him on 2 occasions at length about how to discuss this with children. Both times was with a child that I knew was not getting that from his father, and I wanted to know. And he actually gave me his time on 2 different occasions to speak about it, and I'm happy to share, but it would be happy to share what he told me, and I'm happy to try to bring somebody else to speak into fathers about that, but that type of conversation is certainly has to be done with children, one-on-one, not in a group.
Correct.
And even amongst parents, I would only do it with fathers, I'm sorry, but I would only do it with fathers. But it's a very important topic, and that's something which must be said straight. And it's a very light conversation, and it's not meant to be intense. And really, a lot of times, this I heard straight from the Mashgiach. I'll quote it straight from him. He said, often people take their own guilt and their own experiences, and they put it onto the innocent children that don't know the difference. And it's very important to just explain it as a fact of life. And this is the way things go. And that's a big answer to also you, Mr. Nafai, is that it's part of the way we're mechanech them about it. And if we're mechanech them about that, it's an open conversation, come to me back and about it any time. We talk, and I'm saying that's more conversation falling in such a thing is all part of the conversation. It's part of the conversation. The internet is just making this very accessible in a way that's never been ever before. And that's important for kids to know. But when you say talk straight about it, it's in a class setting, it's difficult because you don't want to over.
It means about technology.
Right. So the thing is, right. So I think it depends the age. Someone said something about high
Maybe,
school.
I don't know,
In
maybe-
9th grade, it's easier to talk to them about
Maybe
it.
even the Rabbonim needs to go and to get some education how to speak to the kids about it.
Right, 100%. It is true, and I realize I thank you for bringing it up. I think it's something which I'm going to be sharing to myself on what grade and how to do it, to what extent. But I do think I don't think it should be the elephant in the closet. I know in my 5th grade class, I always welcomed the opportunity to discuss it. And
It's
we
the same
started
thing
even
like the drug. It's something like the same thing like a drug in the Jewish community. That people just hiding like elephant in the closet, and you see how many kids falling and dying. Only the last year, like over 100 kids.
The question is what age though, is that what age do you...
Okay, I'm not talking about drugs now. I'm talking about
No, I'm
this.
not saying technology, I think we can discuss
But I want to just mention some 5
Sheldon
apps.
wants to say it is discussed
It is
in his
discussed in
classroom.
the
It was
classroom. It's
discussed in
discussed in
my
the classroom.
classroom.
It's not discussed as an official speech about it, but it's discussed all the time.
I just wanna say just 5 or 6 apps
Exactly
that
what
are
he said.
used all the time.
Some parents doesn't know how to
Okay, I
speak to
mentioned
their kids
Facebook, I
about it,
mentioned
so
Twitter,
the
and
rabbis.
I mentioned WhatsApp. Telegram, I don't know if anyone ever heard of Telegram? You heard of Telegram? You did? You did? Okay, because you're the wife, okay. You guys heard of Telegram? Telegram is WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, there's a limit of how long your video can be. Telegram, there's no limit. And you, besides the calling and the video calling and all that kind of stuff, you could also download and follow any movie, any TV show, anything from the internet. Okay? So basically, it makes WhatsApp nothing compared to Telegram. Someone called me, okay, I'm not gonna go into Snapchat.
I think also Telegram is ephemeral, which is a big issue.
What's it?
Telegram is ephemeral, right? What that means,
I couldn't
Okay.
hear.
What?
ephemeral, what that means is that your kid can use Telegram. I'm pretty sure, for sure Signal and Wicker, I think Telegram also. They can write a message and then it disappears within minutes.
Not
Never be-
Telegram.
Not
Not
Telegram?
No, not Telegram.
Okay.
Snapchat. I was about to get there.
Snapchat also, but a lot
Snapchat,
of these-
Snapchat.
I'm not convinced that,
Not the app, but the website.
But all the bad things of Telegram that you just mentioned.
It's a Telegram, they have their own version of Telegram to make it look like WhatsApp. So it gets rid of the following of all the TV shows. And you can only use it like a WhatsApp, like phone.
Every time you
phone
mention
call.
that, can you mention a filter that could be used?
The Jewish one, Gentech Livigen, is, for a device, it's $100 a year. It's money, but you can't buy without it. It's just, you can't do it. It just doesn't work.
it is ephemeral.
That's specifically for
What?
phones.
Telegram does,
It does?
absolutely.
It's a new thing then. Really?
Oh, you even got some education.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Snapchat, if you take a
set it.
picture,
It's
what?
different than Snapchat. Snapchat automatically disappears with
Right.
Telegram and Signal and Wicker and all these encrypted chats.
Uh-huh.
You can set it, so that's another, you can set it so that it disappears, so that if you took your kid's phone and looked at the messages,
You wanna come
you
here?
wouldn't, no, I just work in encrypted,
Oh.
system. But then you wouldn't be able to see what they would say or do.
I mentioned before, Video Star, which a lot of kids use, which it makes a lot of videos. House Party, I don't know if anyone heard of a House Party. House Party is a room, it's meant for a party. Boys, girls, bunch of, videos going back and forth. You're supposed to meet people and go into private chats. That's, just educate yourself on these apps. Amazon, yes,
For those of us who are extremely low tech,
yes,
all of these apps are specifically for phones, not computer, right?
correct.
Okay.
WhatsApp also for computer.
What?
WhatsApp, if you don't have
WhatsApp
a phone,
computer.
you can't use it on the computer.
No, WhatsApp
You need
only,
to
it's
have-
only it matches
You're right.
whatever's on your phone.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's basically that you
can't
have it on your
with
computer,
that.
but it's
Unless-
really on your phone.
You can hack in and make a, like, with
Right. No, but
pretty much
without
you
it.
need a
WhatsApp on
phone.
the
But
Yeah.
WhatsApp-
I used to use Telegram.
Right.
because
You were talking about Amazon.
I'm talking about Telegram. WhatsApp. What?
You were talking about Amazon. What's the issue with
Amazon,
Amazon?
they sell everything out there. So if you're a 6th grade boy, 7th grade boy who wants to search anything, they're not going to a provocative site, they're seeing it right over there.
So what can you do about that? What's the filter?
You could go and not use the app, use the website, and the website does its own filtering. You can do the regular filtering of a website with Livigen. What it does is, it filters out those images.
Every single app that you're talking about, Google Images, all these things.
Amazon does, like Telegram has a computer app, but anything that has an app to get onto the computer, you could use on the computer. Snapchat you can use on a computer, it's on a website, but it's not, a lot of the functionality of Snapchat and Instagram is on the device, not on the computer. It's easier to upload.
Let's say a parent wants YouTube access on their home computer.
So
How could
YouTube,
that be
Gentech
filtered?
has you could filter YouTube. I'm not telling you to have YouTube, but they have 5 levels of YouTube allowance. From the most open to the most closed.
So the T will block YouTube, but then you could see if they're embedded in other kosher sites, then you can see the YouTube.
Right, it's called, right, we're correct. eBay, just to show you, there's ratings for all the apps out there. In the Apple world, 4 is the most open, and 17 is but 17 is the most provocative level of allowance for apps. eBay's a 12. So you could get a lot more on eBay than you get on Amazon. So if you want to force yourself, I'm not saying Amazon is horrible, but I'm saying if you could force yourself better to Amazon than to eBay, because it's less provocative availability on Amazon it's less on Amazon than eBay.
And that's
The
again,
lower numbers are better or the
Yes, the
higher
lower numbers are better,
Okay.
correct,
and that's again searching for inappropriate content.
correct, so,
As in like, I wanna purchase this.
I want a
correct,
baseball bat.
correct. And don't think your kids are not gonna figure out your codes, and don't think your kids are not gonna figure out, are not gonna steal your device when you don't realize. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
There was a question, I just
Yes.
want to add, there was a questionnaire in a mainstream 8th grade
Yes,
where both Rebbeim chose to ask the students to share on a note card, whether or not they have access to inappropriate sites. And the responses was in a mainstream of Ephraim. I heard it quoted from Ephraim Waxman, which the Rebbeim shared with him. The response rate for how many 8th graders have access to the inappropriate sites was 100%. So, that means,
You want to close the school here?
no, it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen. I want to say that definitely. It will
1,000%.
happen. The
But the
question
question
is
is also-
what the response is.
Robinson, I'm sorry, I don't remember your last name. If they're saying inappropriate stuff. Let's go even less than that. Seeing a girl in a bathing suit. Do you want your boy to see that? The answer is
I
no.
want my boy to know he needs to look away.
You're right, but see,
It's not fair to ask them to do that.
it's not, you
It's not fair to
can't.
ask them to do that.
It's not what?
It's not
You know what I'm
fair.
saying? I'm not trying to say what Rabbi Erlanger says is not true,
No, I'm
but
not
you're
saying
going,
that in
It's
a
impossible.
long run,
That's like, so that's why,
That's the woman
that's why
who's
in
saying
5th grade I
it, and
tell
the men
them,
are
if you
just
see
saying
something wrong on the side of the bus, look away. That's a chinuch,
right?
and hopefully eventually they'll be able to,
Right.
but to give them something which.
No, I'm not saying to give,
No, no, no.
not look away.
hold on.
No, that's why I want.
Don't look.
Right.
But they want, right.
The boy sees it walking down Main Street
Right,
in June and
correct.
July.
Right.
Correct.
It's in the
Right.
she's
saying she wants that
They know that they're doesn't have to be in your house.
צריכים לחזור לידע מעבר.
No problem.
אבל אני אשמור את העשר.
Yeah, I want you to finish, but before we lose our first parents, I just want to quickly jump into this, and then if you don't mind. Okay, I left something on almost all the chairs, and this is a very powerful new initiative. It's really cutting edge. I really think it's appropriate for this school and this parent body. That this is really a parent-driven thing. It's where parents get together as a class to decide what they want as a standard for their kids and their class and their home. So that, let's say the class decides, we all think that it's appropriate to have a family device with proper filters. We spoke to Rabbi Yossi Strickman, we know exactly how, we have Nativ, we have whatever's on it. It's kosher, it's really protected, it's in a public place. But we don't want our kids to have their own device because then it's really hard to control. That's what we all decide. So then it's a class together, or everybody agreement together that this is what we're gonna do. And then it just knocks away the peer pressure. And this way, if a kid says, it's my bar mitzvah, it's my 14th birthday, 12th birthday, 11th birthday, whatever it is, I wanna get this thing, no. But everybody has it? Not true. Nobody in the class has it. And that's who we are at the Cheder. That's who we are, that's our home, that's how
But
we do
make
it.
a big deal about it. No, when you do it, make a huge deal.
I would make it simple. Take them out,
Take them out to a restaurant.
For sure.
Make a big deal about
And
it. The more you do it,
right.
it'll last longer.
I printed out a list of participating classes. It's much more than this. I know this is a very out-of-date list. I left it just to see different classes in the tri-state area in the LA that are already part of this program. It's a very powerful program. It's really, I think, it's a really proactive step that parents can really do, and it's really about them. Because when we as a class or as a school say that this is what our standard is, we get together, we decide our standard, and it's consistent. I really think it's sending a very important message to our children, and it's also really keeping them much safer. Because there's no friend's house, it's really getting rid of a lot of like you said, we want them to know to look away, but we have to also do as much as we can.
At this
Shouldn't have
age,
to
you
be
gotta
put
keep it
into that.
away, so when they get to a little bit older of age, they'll know to control themselves.
Yeah, so now, I'm sorry.
You hope so.
You can,
Again,
I just
it
wanted
comes
to
down
get
to
that in. But I think that I really would like if every single class, like the way you can read up about it, but I really, my dream is that for every class in the Cheder to be part of this program. I really wanted, part of the reason why I started off with this, why I asked the 6th and 7th grade parents to come in, is I know all of you. I don't know all the parents that are in the Cheder. I'm trying to get to know them, but I know all of you, and I know that this is what you want. So we could really start it right here. We could really start it in these two classes, and Be'ez Hashem, I'm planning on bringing somebody in for all the grades, down to first pre-1A, that every single class is going to be a different schmooze. It's not going to be this. For a first grade, it's a different talk, it's a different idea, it's a different program. But it's about being aware, knowing what apps can do, how we could prevent it, how we could kosher everything for real, and how we could be across the board sending a message to our children. This is what we do. At the Cheder, yeah, we're part of this. This is our standard. Everybody, every single class. And that's what I'm really hoping. I'm really davening. I davened really hard for a long time, and this should really work. I really do. Really that's just to add on to. It's really just to add on. Every single parent here, I had your child in my class, and I've davened to them since they entered my classroom, and I've never ended. And I know every single one of their names and their mother's names. You can ask me at any time. I'll probably know it in my sleep. And I really think this is something very important, and I really hope that you all take it very seriously. That's my place. But now we can go back to Erling or whatever you were going to say. Just wanted to say it before they left.
Well,
Okay, and the next step is.
no, the next step, the question is what the response to that experience is. So it doesn't mean that they all have access, it means they all have their own phones, but they'll go to the library, they'll go to a hotel on the main street, they have a, what do they call it, like the business...
Kiosks, business.
The kiosks, they have like a business office.
Internet cafe.
Internet cafe. It will I'm telling you for a fact, it will happen. So the question is, how could we be mechanech them? I'm adding another component of what to the cell phone store, exactly. So how are they going to be? Okay, what are they going to do after that? They're just going to keep it to themselves, and are they going to say,
It's not right.
"Oh, that was interesting," and then take it by themselves and try to deal with it on their own for a year, for a month, for 2 years, for 3 years, and then all of a sudden, in 11th grade, like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, you know. But talking about that communication piece, it's.
Right. I think it boils down to communication for that. It really does boil down to communication and honesty.
And in regard to trust, we have so many opportunities to build their trust that has absolutely nothing to do with digital media. We have anywhere from, did you do the homework? Oh, did you do the homework? Let me see the homework. What do you mean, let me see? He told you he did the homework. That's a big trust component, you know? Or what was the change that you got from the store? I put it in the drawer. Oh yeah, you put it in the drawer. How much was it? Yeah, how much? Do we trust them that they put? So the trust question is a trust question that affects practically many interactions with them. But with my
At this age, you can't
2
trust
cents.
them. For this.
For this, right. Trust them, but for this, it's
But on the other hand, I think we cannot live in like Hamama, how you say it, Frida?
Sheltered.
Put your head
Get
in
them
the
in the
sand.
sheltered, yeah.
Yeah, but in a shelter, place, because they're gonna go out sooner or
Right.
later, and they're gonna see all those Natsnius women. I'm sorry for that, or men, or they know about all different kinds of relationships they have, and they know about everything.
They know more than us, let's just put it this
so
way.
we need to find a way for them not to fall between the chairs.
But it comes down to mechanech and
Yeah.
education.
That's what I'm thinking now.
maybe we will be.
Right.
but I think Rabbi Solomon, thank you for pointing that out. Rabbi Solomon does speak to the boys about it, Rabbi Kubal speaks to the boy about it, Rabbi Erlanger, what, yes? Even in
Yes.
4th grade on that level, I know in 5th grade I did, Rabbi are speaking to the boys about it, but I do think also, in this stage, 6th, 7th grade, there has to be a father-son talk. And if a person feels uncomfortable with it, I'm happy to either discuss it with them, or try to pair them up with somebody that they could, or a rub that they could speak with, or try to partner them somebody, but it's a very important conversation, and it's important that it be done right.
Exactly. I'm sure there is no many rabbi that knows what he knows or what you know.
Right, but there are. There are. There are.
But you have to be educated.
I'm trying, working on it.
I was gonna throw out
I came here today, right?
that I heard that at the time I really thought was crazy, because I wasn't thinking that way. But from Shimshon Pincus, that he said that he actually thinks that it is worse for women than for men, because whatever a woman is involved with, she's like the moon, and she reflects that. And a man, he can go back to Torah, whatever, I'm not saying that's as clear for him, but he has a different component. And he said it's more serious for our homes and for our communities that the women are careful.
I was gonna
I thought it
say,
was
but I didn't wanna
interesting.
get killed for that statement, so,
I thought it was interesting.
She did withdraw.
but it's true.
Right. Okay, fine.
That's dismissed.
Thank you very much.
To be continued.
גם יש לך שיעורי